Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about the issues of the Planned Parenthood March in Washington, D.C., the nationwide one, which had over 10, 20, 30,000 people there from all across the United States. And even I met people from Canada, I met people from Ireland, I met people from Germany, Austria, all around the world who came to support people in their fight for abortion, fighting for the United States Supreme Court to take away women's access and right to abortion. Now, um, there were a couple issues. Number one that I saw, the first one was I was one of the few people that actually were out there doing voters registration, and I did see another lady for the Women's League of Women's Voters, the National League of Women's Voters, who was also like, well, she didn't have a lot of people out there to help her with the voters registration. So I'm glad I saw a representative that was from the National League of Women's Voters there. The second thing that I'm glad that was a little bit angry, upset about was that they did not talk. I don't. There were some other issues. The second issue that I was upset about is they did not talk at this national conference for this abortion rally for Planned Parenthood. They did not focus and let people know that one of the primary services that Planned Parenthood does is HIV and STI testing. Okay, you're testing for sexually transmitted diseases and infections as well as HIV testing. Okay, now that is one of the primary services that Planned Parenthood provides not only for females and women, she, hers, and hers, as well as male, him, and binary, transgender, and LGBTQ uh, patients. Okay, they service the LBGT community, and a lot of the LBGTQ community, excuse me about that, come to Planet Parenthood just for those services, for the free HIV and the free STI testing service, for the free HIV testing. They come to Planned Parenthood just for those services primarily. So those are one of the services that one of the primary services that Planned Parenthood provides. Another thing that I did not notice, but they had a lot of representatives. Barbara Lee was there. Congresswoman Barbara Lee was there. They did not talk about free breast cancer screening. Okay, so breast cancer screening, they do breast checks. Is also another service that Planned Parenthood provides too as well, breast cancer screening. Okay, so that was another issue that they did not bring up at the conference. They kept talking about abortion access and abortion access and abortion access, but another primary service, especially when you're dealing with women, okay, you're dealing with a women's clinic and a women's healthcare clinic, is breast cancer screening. That's also another service that Planned Parenthood provides, breast cancer screening. So breast cancer screening, STI testing, as well as rape crisis counseling, rape clinics. Planned Parenthood was created to help with support groups for rape victims. So they have many support groups and support services out there to help with rape victims, not just female rape victims, not just minors who have been raped, but also for men and LBGT youth who have also been sexually abused and assaulted. They also provide services to help out LGBTQ with hate crimes too as well. They do referrals for lawyers. That's a lot of the services that Planned Parenthood does and provides. So that is another issue. And on the platform, I did not see anybody from the LBGT community on the speaker stage. Yeah, Jackie was there, Pastor Jackie Hill. They had another lady there. She was there, but they should have had more focus on these issues. They just kept saying abortion, 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 when they should have been talking about the services, the community services that Planned Parenthood provides. It has done all across the United States. Okay? Okay, so I know I'm 5 minutes into this. Now, Planned Parenthood is a wonderful organization. It's been in existence since Susan B. Anthony in the 1920s and the 1930s. Then she branched out a little bit more. It rose up in the 60s and the 70s and created more clinics to help with the AIDS crisis, to help women's health care during the 80s and 90s, and it bloomed out. But now in the new millennial and 2022, a lot of young people are more conservative and they want to disband Planned Parenthood for all of the services it has done over decades and decades. They're trying to disband it instead of doing something to curate as a substitute for it. And when you're trying to take away Planned Parenthood, you also are going to be taking away funds and resources that were that substitutes like family planning clinics, or that HIV testing clinics were curated as a substitute for Planned Parenthood. You are also going to be taking away funding resources for these clinics as well too. Okay, so that also has to be understood and taken into advantage. Okay, so that's another issue that has to be discussed too as well. The sister clinics that have been under support, that have received federal funding just because of the existence of Planned Parenthood, or because they have provided some of the same services, or they get the piggyback of the patients, the piggyback referrals from Planned Parenthood, and they are referred. Planned Parenthood refers them to these sister clinics. They get the referrals from them. That's how it works. It's a referral system. And Planned Parenthood does abortions in clinic. Maybe 25 to 30 to 35% of abortions are done in clinic. Count me wrong, but that's just LaQueen Battle estimate. A lot of the other abortion services are referrals. They refer them to board certified doctors or nurse care practitioners, or they refer them out to other clinics who can provide services that clinic cannot provide. They do a lot of referral services. Now, what I've been trying to say on my Facebook page about antitrust issues is when you have a corporation or a business who will take advantage of the fact that a law is being established to create hesitancy in order for minorities or women minorities or immigrants, in order to get them access to something like health care, or give them access to pretty much to health care, or access to women to breast care, STI testing, HIV testing, to morning after pill, to counseling services, without getting them extra third party involved. Which that third party can usually be a hospital service, or that third party can be, well, you can't get an abortion without your primary care person being involved, or you can't get a breast care check without your husband being involved, or your mate being involved. Planned Parenthood was curated as a way to sort of get that patient and that doctor relationship on a one-to-one level, without anything else having to come as a middleman between that. And it was created as a family service center, as a family planning center. That's why it was called Planned Parenthood, planning services for your family. Unfortunately, a lot of it has been taken out of context. And you have leadership like Susan B. Anthony, as well as all the women's liberation movements of the 1920s, during the Great Depression, during all of that fighting for women, for giving women the right to independence and liberty, giving them the right to vote. Okay. And that has been created in the 70s and 80s. It's been kind of twisted and turning out of revision. Now, it has increased patient care, which is great. At the same time, though, it's losing what it held behind. So it's my body, my choice. Of course, that was one of the biggest statements from Planned Parenthood. My body, my choice. And now, Saturday we're talking about get your bands off our bodies. Like, that doesn't make sense. Bands off our bodies. What makes sense is, please do not disband Planned Parenthood. We are united for a reason, and we are united for a cause to take care of women's health care and provide women's health care the opportunity to take away a third party or get them access and treatment, get them immediately and get them easier access and treatment that a hospital or any other kind of primary healthcare system cannot provide, which is usually if a woman or a person or a person is involved in an emergency situation, they need that help right then and right there, usually right within the next 24 to 48 hours, or they need it without privacy. It's usually most of the time a privacy issue that is concerned. And so they have peer support specialists, they have peer support personnel in that clinic to assist that person through that crisis situation. But it was a good march. I'm glad I came, but there were some issues that I did see. But it was a good march. 20,000, 30,000 people were there. Got the whole entire city of Washington, D.C., the region of Washington, D.C. Very happy that I came. Very happy. So again, in less than 3 to 4 weeks, okay? In less than 3 to 4 weeks. But it is up to every single region, every single territory to make establishments and go before the voters, their constituents, and say, do you agree with this, and how can we bring this before the polls in September, August, November, and make a change or amendment to the ballot. Okay, so how do we bring this before the ballot? What can we do to bring this before the voters of the ballot? Okay. How do we bring this before the voters of the ballot? How do we bring this issue before the voters of the ballot? What can we do about it? All right, well, I just said my piece for today. I'm actually going to have to go before just a whole bunch of talk to some people about some other issues that I'm going through. But I really do appreciate your time and your energy today. This is LaQueen battle, and I'm pretty much out here trying to do the very best that I can. So please continue to keep me in your thoughts and your prayers. I really do appreciate your time for today. Okay? Like I said before, it still has not been finalized. They're doing decisions, they're doing amendments to this law. They're going to be discussing it in June, mid-June. But still, the people have the right to vote, and the people have the right to express what is really going on in their own opinions. The people of the law of the land still have the power. Okay? All right, so this is LaQueen Battle First Aid Responding Services. Thank you, YouTube, for letting me share my opinion today. I really do appreciate you guys. Please continue to keep me thoughts and prayers. If you want to, please donate to me at Battle First Aid Responding Services, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you, YouTube, for letting me host today. And like I said before, the people still have law and order over the law of the land. People still have the opportunity to express their freedom of speech, their freedom of religion, and their freedom of independence that is granted to us by the United States Constitution. We still have the power and the force to express how we feel about this issue. Okay? In a safe manner and a safe way. We still have the freedom to express it. Freedom of expression. All right. Okay, so God bless you guys all. You can follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn as well. LaQueen Battle, just Google my name. I'm also on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles too as well. And I am trying to also be doing some more writing if I can. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Please continue to keep me in your thoughts and prayers. Bye.